Hello students, how are you? So once again, welcome in my channel. So today we will discuss on the web hosting. What is a web hosting? So before understand the meaning of the web hosting, first we understand what is the meaning of the server, web browser and the web server. So what is a web browser? A web browser is the www client that navigate through the World Wide Web and display the web pages. Clear? And what is a web server? Web server is a www server that respond to the request made by the web browser. Means that all the websites are actually stored on the web server, and you can see the contents of the website with the help of the web browser. Therefore, web browser is the www client, while the web server is the www server. Actually, the server provides the services according to the user request. So, once again, come back to the our topic. The topic is a web hosting. Now, what is a web hosting? As you know that if we make the website, then we cannot keep this website in our computer system, because our computer system is not the server. Nobody can access your website from your computer system. So you can keep your website in any place. That place is only the web server. So actually the web server display the contents of the website with the help of the web browser on the computer. So this thing is called the hosting. So once again, see the definition of the web hosting is given here. The web hosting is a means of hosting a web server application on a computer system through which the electronic contents on the internet is readily available to any web browser client. As you have read the previous topic that accessing information on the web required data communication between the web browser client and the server application. Web hosting is linked to this very thing. Web hosting is means to hosting the web server application on a computer system through which the electronic component on the internet is readily available to any web browser client. The computer system providing on the web hosting is known as a web server or the web host. So basically the web hosts allow their customers to place web documents such as HTML page, graphics and other multimedia files etc. onto the special type of the computer called the web server, which maintain constant high-speed connection to the backbone of the internet. One can choose from the various types of the web hosting services such as the free or the virtual or the shared or the dedicated hosting. So first, the free hosting. So this type of the hosting is available with many prominent sites that offer to host some web pages for no cost. Example, such sites are the GeoSite, Tripod, Homestead, etc. So some websites are the free and they provide the facility to the user. You can make your own website and can store your file on this server. So free is for fun. If you want to experiment with a site or the put up a small personal site for the fun of it, a free packages will suffice. Now the second, the virtual or the shared hosting. This type of the hosting is the provided under the one's own domain name www.username.com with the hosting plan with the web hosting company. One can present oneself as a fully independent identity or his her web audience. So virtual hosting is where one's website domain is hosted on the web server of the hosting company along with other website. One can access and update to the site and its files are carefully secured through a login ID and the password. One has 24 hours access to maintain one's site. Now the dedicated hosting. In this type of the hosting, the company wishing to go online rent an entire web server from a hosting company. This suitable for the companies hosting larger website, maintaining other sites for the sites or managing a big online mall, etc. Co-location hosting for those who do not fit the dedicated server mold. Hosting companies offer a similar but less restrictive hosting known as a co-location hosting. In this type of the hosting, the company actually owns the server on which its site is hosted. That is, the company owning the site rather than the web hosting company is responsible for all server administration. The web hosting company is only responsible for providing rack space for the server and meeting its physical need. This generally include a high-speed connection to the internet, a regulated power supply, and a limited amount of the hands-on the technical support such as the data backup or the hardware upgrade. Now in your syllabus, the two types of the web pages are given here, the static and the dynamic. So first we understand the what is the meaning of the static. The static web page means a web page those contents can't be changed or the modified, but the some web pages those contents can be modified or the changes are called the dynamic web page. So HTML is the language. HTML is the markup language. If you create any website or the create the web pages using the HTML, then the HTML create the static web page. While if you use the DHTML, dynamic hypertext markup language, or the scripting language, then these scripting language create the dynamic web page. Means that you can modify the contents of these web page. So this is the difference between the static and the dynamic web pages. So you see here the DHTML. So DHTML is not in your syllabus. Only dynamic web page and the static web page is in your syllabus. So you see here the web page content that changes each time is viewed. For example, the same URL could result in the different page depending on any number of the parameters such as a geographical location of the reader, time of the day, previous page views by the reader, profile of the reader. So DHTML refer to a new HTML extension that will enable the web page to react user input without sending requests to the web server. So with the help of the DHTML, we can create the dynamic web page, while if we use the HTML, then we create the static web page. Now the cookies. A cookies is a message given a web browser by the web server. Once again, I repeat this sentence. A cookies is a message given to a web browser by a web server. The browser is stored the message in the text file. The message is then sent back to the server each time the browser requests a page from the server. The main purpose of the cookies is to identify the user possibly prepare the customized web page for them. When you enter a website using the cookies, you may be asked to fill out a form providing such as information as a username, your name, and interest. This information is the packaged into the cookies and sent to your web browser, which store it for the later use. The next time you go to the same website, your browser will send the cookies to the web server. The server can use this information to present you with the custom web pages. So, for example, instead of seeing the just a generic welcome page, you might see a welcome page with your name on it. So, this is the simple definition of the cookies. The cookies are messages that a web server transmits to a web browser so that the web server can keep the track of the user activity on the specific website. So cookies have the 6 parameters that can be passed to them: the name of the cookies, values of the cookies, and the expiration date of the cookies. The path of the cookies is valid for, the domain the cookies is valid for, and the need for a secure connection. So you have to remember only the definition of the cookies and the function of the cookies. So unit 3, introduction to computer network. I have covered the introduction to network, types of the network, LAN, MAN. After that, the network devices like the modem, hub, switch, repeater, router, and the gateway. And the network topology is star, bus, tree, and the mesh has been completed. Now the introduction to internet, URL, www, its application, web, email, chat, VoIP. After that, the website introduction. What is a web page and the website? Then the difference between the website and the web page. After that is static and the dynamic web page, web server, and hosting of a website. This portion has been completed today. After that, the web browser. So everybody know the web browser. Then the introduction. Commonly used browsers. So commonly used browsers, your Google Chrome, your Opera, your Netscape Navigator, Window Explorer, etc. There are so many examples of the web browsers. After that, the browser setting. So, and the add-on and the plugin and the cookies. So you have to understand what is the meaning of the browser setting, add-on and the plugin. This is your duty to perform these tasks like the browser setting. So you open any browser, and after that you set its setting. Similarly, you add on and the plugins also do with the practicals. So now that this unit has been covered by me, if you have any query or want to ask any question, then you can write your questions and the query on the WhatsApp. Now some question and answer. Let us explore. So multiple choice questions are given here. So first is the blank space is responsible. Blank space is a repository of the information linked together from the points of the points all over the world. So its answer is given here. The correct answer is the triple W. Then second question, blank space is the standard for the specifying any kind of the information on the internet. URL, ULR, RLU, none of these everybody know. The answer is the URL. Okay, then third question, in a URL, the blank space is the client server program used to retrieve the document. The answer is the protocol. Then in URL, the blank space is the computer on which the information is located. Then the host. In a URL and in the URL, an optional blank space can be inserted between the host and the path, and it is separated from the host by a colon. That is called the protocol. Now in a URL, the blank space is the full name of the file where the information is located, is called the path. And the blank space document is a fixed content document that is created and stored in a server. The client can get a copy of a document only, static. So this is the definition of the static web page. The blank space document is created by the web server whenever a browser requires the document, that is the dynamic. Blank space is the technology that create and handle the dynamic document, that is a CGI. And the last question, the dynamic documents are the sometimes referred to as server side dynamic document. Okay. Some solved problems are given here. So see some examples. What do you understand by the following URL and the multimedia? Okay. So definition of the URL, everybody know it. The URL, the full form of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. URL refers to address on the internet. Billions of the document multimedia files can be accessed on the internet through their URL. Then the what is the protocol, and in what ways is the World Wide Web different from other server on the internet? Difference between the web browser and the web server. So these questions are the very important on the point of the examination. Then the what is the client server computing? It's some portions are given here and the rest of the portion is given on the other side. So see, so rest of the portion of that question is this one. So I will link the all the these three files as well as the one PDF file, so you can download from the WhatsApp group. Now the some questions are given here. The solve problem. What factor should be the considered when selecting the appropriate cable for connecting a PC to a network? Choose two. See here, the choose is a correct type of the system bus, motherboard model, distance of the cable run, speed of the transmission, computer manufacturers. Everybody understand the distance of the cable and the speed of the transmission are the correct answer for this question. What are the two advantages of using UTP cable in the networking environment? Choose any two. So the UTP is not in our syllabus, so you can ignore it. Now the third company is the converting a cable LAN to the wireless Ethernet lane. What must be changed on every host on the network? So its answer is the C. The each host will require and the appropriate NIC or the adapter. What is the difference between the wireless NIC and the Ethernet NIC? So answer is the D. The wireless NIC associated with the access point and the Ethernet NIC attached to the hub or the switch using a cable. Then the selecting the characteristic specific 10 base T, so you can ignore this question because this is not from your syllabus. So which of the followings are used for data communication signal? So answer is a B and the user communication signal. The light pattern, second the electric voltage, and the F the modulated and electromagnetic wave. You can also forget this question. Similarly, there is no need to see the question number 7. Question number 8. What are the two advantages of using the fiber optic cable instead of the UTP? So C and the D. Allow the longer distance and the less effective by the external signal. Then the what is the network? Why is it needed? or the mention one advantage of the networking. Then the what is the communication channel, what is the hub, expand the following term with respect of the networking. And the some other questions are given here. So what are the different types of the network? What is the geographical scope of the LAN WAN? Explain in brief the capabilities and the services supported by the LAN. Give the examples of the PAN and the LAN. So PAN is not in your syllabus, only the LAN type network. Write the two advantages of the 4G over the 3G. So you can ignore this question because the 4G and the 3G are not in your syllabus. So what do you mean by the network topology? So you must read this question because this question is a very important for you. And the what is a modem? This question is also the very important. Differentiate between the internet and the intranet. So intranet is not in your syllabus. Then the expand the following the CDMA URL. So CDMA is not in your URL is in your syllabus, and when is your syllabus. Write one advantage of the star topology compared to bus. This is a very important question. This question has been come in the year 2006. So after that, name the two transmission media for the networking. Expand the pointer. So only the man. And as well as you can ignore this question, the hacker and the cracker, because the hacker and the cracker, these things are not in your syllabus. So uh, I will upload this file and send the link of this file to the in your WhatsApp group. So now I close my lecture. Thank you very much.